definitely will. Like most of you to be there. I know I have a lot of noise coming out. So, in cutting time, I have a project. Somebody brought some stuff for me to work on, and I've not been able to like even start it. So, she brought her material for me to sew. I've not been able to start it, like I said. She'll be needing in the beginning of next month, so a lot of things I need to keep with this fabric. So I'm gonna have to go ahead and just pick up. First of all, the fabric we're working on is an African print. Alright, so okay. This fabric is beautiful. First. So I'm going to I'll be cutting up the pant with this. She needs, how did they even pull this thing and I take it and put it right from inside? Okay. 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 Normally when you're making something like this, it's an African print. I don't always like to use this side, but I have to use it. Alright, so first of all, we want to get the round hip. What we're going to be working on is the round hip divided by 4. Then we add extra inch because I wonder if this thing is 6 years. I just hope it's going to be enough for that project. So sorry about that. So I'm going to have to cut a kimono right now, and I'll also cut a pants. So by tomorrow when I just come back, I have to stitch that up. So the measurement I'm going to be working with right now, my fabric being folded, should first of all be, we're going to be cutting up the pants first. Doing this thing is kind of wasting me time, yeah? So I'm gonna have to, I'm just gonna head and open the whole stuff. Okay, so we're gonna have to fold it over. So now what we have to determine what is being folded here to be the round hip divided by 4. Alright, then we'll be adding some 5 or 6 extra inch depending on how many pleats you want it to be at the front. If you want it to be 2 pleats, if you want it to be 3 pleats, you just go ahead and fold your fabric that amount of fabric. You can do 2, you can do 5, you can do 4. The lowest you should add to it, the pleats you should add to it should be at least 4 inch of pleats. All right, so we are going to be adding 2 pleats for the front and the back. Okay, so I've just folded my fabric into 2, right side facing right side. You guys already know. Now, like I said, what you want to have folded here should be the round hip plus your extra inches. For your, so the round hip I'm working with is 38. 38 divided by 4 is going to give me 9.5. 9.5 now. This is what I have. The round hip, we are cutting out a pant first of all. The round hip I'm working with is 38. 38 divided by 4 is going to give me 9.5. 9.5. Now we're going to have to fold our fabric, right? Fold in like this, my fabric. So I have my 9.5 right there. Then I'll have to go ahead now and add up. You can add even 6 inches or even 7 inches, depending on how many pleats you want to add. I have to get this part up. So what I have there totally is 6 inch. I'll be creating 2 pleats. Then I have to add up my 1 inch for the sewing allowance. So total what I have there is about let's just say 17 inch. Yeah, 17 inch is 17 inch. Okay, 17 inch, including our including the pleats and the allowance. So I've just folded up that fabric. Now first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have to come to this end first of all. Come to this end, pull it up like that. Come to this end. Now let's go ahead and mark up the hip depth line. Let's take it more easy. So I'll be getting my cross depth. The cross depth is to take round hip divided by 4. Mine is round hip I'm working in is 38 divided by 4 is going to give me 9.5. I'll add 1 inch to it. 9.5 plus 1 inch. I'll be left with 10 inch. I'm going to be using a waistband. 10.5 inch. I'm going to be using a waistband of a waistband of 2 inch, but I'll be minus 1 inch from this. So I'm going to go ahead and mark that 10 inch right there. Then now, it's 10.5 because it was 9.5 plus the 1 inch, we added 10.5. Now, to get the hip depth line, what I will do is to go up by 2 inch from here to here and from here to here, 2 inch. This is 10.5, making it 1 inch. Then from here all the way to here, making it 2 inch to get the hip depth line. Remember this pan, we are actually working it. It is not a fitting pan, so that's why I'm cutting it directly on my fabric. Remember, I have added up my sewing allowance, and I've also added up my my pleats allowance, pleat that I'll be using to it. So it is better for it to be small. It is better for it to be bigger than for it to be small. So what I have to do here is I'm going to come here like this. At this point I'm going to go in by 2 inch, 2 inch from this part. I'll connect it all the way to here like this, 2 inch. I've connected that 2 inch right there. The next thing I will do right now is to go ahead now and curve it up like this. You can use your free hand, you can use your French curve ruler, whatever you choose to do, just go ahead and do so. Now let me pull this down from here to here, so I'll be able to just do that. Normally I was supposed to pin that part up, pin it up so that it will not move. So I've just curved that part up. Let me put some shipping so when I'm pulling going up, it will not have to move. So I've just cut that part off. Now what I'm going to do is to go ahead now. I will roll up this line all the way straight, just to roll it all the way straight downward. This is a very free pan, so you don't need any things to adjust from there. Now that I have done so, remember I went in by 2 inch. I connected it up like this. But before, I did not even mention how I did connect it, how I did get the cross extension. From this 2 inch, you want to take the round hip divided by 20. So 38 divided by 20 is going to give me 1.9. So you just simply come here from this line that we went in and mark that 1.9, which is almost closely to 2 inch, 1.9, but not 2 inch. Remember, I have already added up the allowance to it. Now let's go ahead and do so. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead now and add up, put my waist measurement. Now the round waist I'm working with is 27. 27 divided by 4 is going to give me 6.025. I'm going to just go mark that point up right there. Then I'll go ahead. I'll be needing up my 2 pleat for this part. Okay, I'll be needing 2 pleat, like I said, depending on how big you want the pleat to be. I'll be needing my 2 pleat. So those 2 pleat, I'm going to add at least 5 inch for the 2 pleat, making it 2.5 inch, right? The 2 pleat. Then now I will go ahead now and add up 1 inch or 1.5 inch for the allowance, which is right there. And I'm going to roll this line up straight like that. Straight. I hope this part is quite a little bit confusing, okay? But don't worry, you're going to understand about it. So this line is being drawn straight, right? This is a straight line. It's supposed to be a straight line, right? Straight line here. We want to curve the side of it, the hip a little bit, because it's not supposed to be straight. So what I'm going to do is I just have to come here like this. I added, is it 1.5 inch? I'm going to minor half inch from there. I'll just go ahead and curve it up like this. You can use your curve like this. Just go ahead and curve it up like this. Now, because the hip is not actually straight, so I'm just going to curve it up like that and remove that. You see, it's a big curve. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is we want to go ahead now and slant this part down by 1 inch. You can do 1 inch, you can do half inch. I'm going to do half inch instead. I'm supposed to do 1 inch, but I will need a half inch to join it up to my pant. So I'm going to do half inch. Then I'll have to go ahead now and connect this part up like this, all the way to meet up that other side. Now, once I am done doing so, we're just going to go ahead now, measure up whatever we have from this point up to this point. What I have there is about 15 inch, okay? 15 inch. I'm going to bring it down up here, 15 inch. So I'm going to bring it up here, 15 inch, right? Let me check, 15 inch. This pan is a free, and so just go ahead and roll up that line up. Okay, now that I am done doing so, the next thing I want to do is just to go ahead and cut this up. You see this small allowance that I went in here, I'm not going to be chopping that up because I will definitely need it to join up the front. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to cut here, leaving about half an inch here. That will join it up. You see what I've just done there, right? And then I'm going to just have to cut it apart. Okay. Sorry. I'm gonna cut this part like this. Sorry. I did not even measure the length, but I feel like it's really longer than the length. Huh? So the length I'm working with is 38, so I'm just going to have to, normally this is 45. In African print always come in 45 inch. And I'm just gonna chop. Okay, now let's go ahead and mark on the line of it. The length, I'll go ahead and forward back. The length is 38. Remember that we minus 1 inch for the band. Okay, so the length is 38 right there. The length is 38, so I'll be adding 1 inch again. Yeah, I'm going to. Where did I even keep that roll again? Oh, it's falling, maybe. 38 like this, but okay, let me just instead add 1 inch because I'll be using hem gum. 38, I added 2 extra inch to it. I'll be using hemming gum to do the folding. This part. I don't mind my finger. My finger is. I chopped it yesterday when I was trying to cook. I'm just gonna go ahead now and pin this part on because I'm going to be using it to cut up the back. You see my coconut head. No, I like that. We're going to be using this to cut up the back of the pants. To cut the back of the pants, we should go ahead and fold up our fabric into two. If I don't do this today, I don't think that I'll be able to finish this, make this clothes, because I really should put it and say, let me keep money and eat, and then at the end of the day, I will not do what they want. Network, nice work, thank you. So I'm just gonna go ahead and fold it again like this. Remember, still right side facing right side. I'm just taking on this fabric here. This girl like this, come and bring this fabric. She wants to sew a kimono. She wants to sew a crop top. Go like that. She still wants to sew a shirt. Just on top of this fabric. And that for French. And the pants you even choose is not something that is. So when you fold the back piece, you fold the back of it. You make sure that the back is supposed to be wider than the front, okay? Much wider than the front. So the measurement I'm getting from here should be like this. The back is supposed to be wider than the front. Look at how I'm doing it. Remember, right side facing right side. Okay. So as you can see, I'm going to have to make sure that the back is much wider than the front. So I'll make sure that I have at least 2 inch. The top I'll have at least 1 inch. And then the side I can do 1 inch. So this is what I have. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is to come here. For the back, remember that to get the crotch extension from the front, what we did was to take the round hip divided by 20. This time around, we're taking the round hip divided by 10, okay? So I'm going to be marking it from this 2 inch that I went inch. From here, I will mark up that round hip divided by 10. I'm looking for the chalk like this, So I'm gonna have to measure it from this line. Okay, so my round hip divided by this thing is 3.8. You can measure, remember that here like this, you can measure it from this line. If you're taking the round hip divided by 10, you measure from this line. If you still take the round hip divided by 20, you come here and measure from this point. Okay, that's just the fact of it. So the round hip divided by 20 will give me 1.9, almost 2 inch, but not 2 inch, which is right there. Okay, 1.9, yeah, almost 2 inch, but not 2 inch. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark that point up. Now from this point, I'm going to do 1.5 inch. And here I'll mark 1.5 inch. That's okay. I don't know why my stomach is bubbling like that. And then from this point, I'm going to do, remember that the back is supposed to be wider than the front, so I'm going to come here like this. I will still do 1.5 inch. From this part, I do 1.5 inch. You can do 1 inch, you can do 2 inch. Some people do 2 inch, but I'm just going to do 1.5 inch. And from this point, remember that we did slant it down by half inch because I was going to be needing half inch to join it. So I'm going to extend it up here by at least 1.5 inch for the back. All right. Then you're going to leave the back up, okay? Then I'm going to connect it up to meet up the side of the hip right there, like this. So this chocolate, I don't know, doesn't want me to work, so I'm just going to go ahead and connect this part up like this to make up this part up. Alright, so we're just going to go ahead and connect this part up. Then now we'll bring it up like this. Remember I said the back is supposed to be wider than the front. Wider. That's why we added that 1.5 inch right there. Right, so I'm just going to go ahead and reconnect this up because I noticed that it is not, that it's supposed to be a little bit curvy, but not too curvy. Alright, so let me not make it to be looking funny. So this is it. Sorry about the. Then at this point, what I'm going to do at this side, the side here, I will do extend 1 inch from there. Remember I said it's supposed to, the back is supposed to be wider than the front, okay? 1 inch. I'm just gonna do 1 inch. Connect that up like this. And this pant, what we're gonna have to do is going to have an elastic at the back. So that extra inches that we add, you have to take note that we're going to be adding an elastic for the back. So I'm cutting it. The line is supposed to be the same. Sorry if my coconut head. I keep on saying my coconut head is showing. So this is my finger that I chopped yesterday when I was trying to cook food because I was so hungry. Okay, we already have the pants cut now. Okay, we have our pants cut. So I'm just gonna have to go ahead and mark the wrong side of it, so as you know this is the wrong side. And mark it up here, even though sometimes, just to make our work look much easier. So let me check again what I have there. Yeah, the round waist is 6, so it's more than enough. Right, to be adding up at that here, we'll add another one. I mean the pleats. Okay, so we have the pants. Luckily I have cut the pants because let it not be that you're relaxing and then boom, you woke up, the time is already over. So the fabric, okay, is still there. So now I'm going to go ahead. I have to cut kimono jacket. This kimono is very easy to cut. We're going to be using the hip because she wants it to be boo-boo, la boo-boo. So when you're cutting up a kimono, you fold your fabric into 2. Then you fold it again like this into 4. Let's see. I want to check because this girl like this will bring fabric and she wants to sew this, she wants to sew this, she wants to sew this. Thinking that this fabric is going to get enough. Let me first of all just go ahead and make that kimono and cut the shape for the husband first of all. You bring fabric, you do want to sew a lot of plenty things. This one can be enough for the husband. My village people then. Let me check the line of the kimono she wanted to again. Okay. Oh shit, I just need this thing. I was trying to do something. If I am able to sew it, guy, she will bring a fabric. Is it 6 yards? Or is it? She wants to sew a wide leg pant with pleats. She wants to sew a crop top. She wants to sew kimono. I'm just taking this fabric like that. Just with one fabric, eh? You cannot be making plenty of things with one fabric. This one, it can be enough for the husband shirt, but it will not be enough for that crop top. Maybe for the one can for me start trouble. When I mean when I can't find it this time around, it is not there. So first of all, I'm going to have to fold that fabric into 2. And she wanted this really boo-boo kimono. Huh? Let me see. Then go ahead and adjust it. Fold it again. I'm going to have to try to patch up the fabric. No, this is too much. Okay, let me see what I have. So for the kimono, where is that measurement? Okay, for the kimono, Normally we should use the highest part of the body, which is supposed to be the hip. She wants it to be free. The hip divided by this, then we'll go ahead now to add at least 2 inches to it. So I'm gonna have to minus again. Okay. And minus again. Fabric to see. I'm not sure that it will come out with a crop top. Okay. So fold up like that. See what I have there? If it's still that big, this is 9.5. Then after this 2 inch, yeah, so you have to go ahead and fold it again. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to have to try as much to patch on this fabric. Again. So we're going to have to clean this or whatever we have here. Okay, this one can be enough for the shirt. So for the shirt, I mean not the shirt, the kimono. You have to cut the shirt too. Okay, so for the kimono, what we have to do is to go ahead and cut up it. So for kimono, we are using the highest part of our body, which is our hip. She wants it to be a little bit big. Okay, so I'm going to be using the hip. I have to go ahead and clean. I added some extra inches to it. Cannot make it much boo-boo because see this fabric like this. The line is, what is the line? No, this is the line of the pant. The line is 37. Yeah, so she wants the line to be 37. First of all, we're going to go ahead and draw a straight line. Where is that ruler? We'll just draw a straight line here. Now, from that straight line, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and mark up the half line of it. The half line is 17. No. Let's do it the basic way. So after marking this, what I'm going to do is to take the shoulder measurement, which is 13. 13 divided by 4. I mean divided by 2 is going to give me 6.5, which is right there. Now 6.5. What we have to do is to slant it down by 1 inch. I'm going to come here and slant it down by 1 inch. Right? Okay. So now I'm going to move now here, this part, I'll mark 3 inch downward. That 3 inch downward. And come here, I will do 3 inch inward. Right? 3 inch inward. I'm just going to go ahead and connect it up like that. Now, connect it up from this point up like this. Take note that this kimono, I'm too far from you guys. Okay, so I've just connected up. You can use, where is that, my friend? Use up your French curve to connect that point up. So this is it. I've pinned it up so it will not move. And use your French curve just like this to connect this part up. So it's just a bit too far. So I'm gonna have to just do this up. Then from this part, what we're gonna do is just to go ahead and connect it straight. But this is a normal basic neck depth. Okay, so what we're gonna do for the kimono is just to go down by at least 6 or 7 inch. You can do 7 inch from this 7 inch. Now you can choose to this part up like this, connect it straight. You can choose to connect it straight. You can choose to give it a little bit of curve. So I'm gonna have to just go ahead and connect this part up, or take it down straight from here. Do it straight and straight. This, we are only doing this straight, cutting the front open, not the back. Take note of that part. So I'm gonna have to open this part up here, like this. Hold it downward. Now, once I'm done doing so, we move now to this other part. How wide the sleeve is gonna be is, I'm gonna have to come here and mark at least where her waist is. I mean the half length. Okay, the half length is normally I mark 15 inch. Okay, 15 inch. Then I'm gonna move now. I'll count from that 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The hip line. So even 8. And now, when I'm done doing so, when I have to come here and mark the round waist divided by 4. Round waist is 27 divided by 4 is going to give me almost 7 inch. I'll mark 7 inch here. Is 6.075, but I'll mark 7 inch. Let's just say it's 28. I'll mark that part up. Remember, this is a kimono, so I'll be adding at least 3 inch to make it boo-boo. From that, okay, I add 3 inch. I'll come on the hip. I'll mark round hip divided by 4. Then I'm going to add at least 3 inch. So now, for the sleeve, what I'm going to do from this point, I'm going to have to go up by 3 inch from this part. This chalk is making as if I don't have chalk. I'll go up by that 3 inch. Now I'll put the round waist here too. Then I'll add that 3 inch. It's boo-boo. It's supposed to be not tight, but a little bit free. Okay? You see, I've just added that point up. So let's go ahead and do this up. Connect this part from this part. Connect it up from here. Then we're gonna go ahead and do. Right? It's not supposed to be curvy. I'm just gonna make it a little bit fitted for her. Alright, so now the sleeve, what I have there, let's see what I have here. What I have there is about 10 inch, which is too big, so I'm going to have to go up a little bit from this part, make it up. You can do 7 inch, you can do 9 inch. What I'm doing here is 9 inch downwards, so just go ahead and connect this part up like that. Make sure that this part is not that curvy. A little bit, not too curvy here. It's not supposed to be too curvy, because when you have curve, it's gonna you're gonna have difficulties in stitching. Okay, just a bit of curve. Like I said, kimono is not supposed to be fitted, okay? I just want this one to be a little bit fitted on her. The total length of the kimono is 37. 37, which is right there. I'll be adding 1 inch. 37, I'll add 2 inch. 2 inch. Like this. I'll add 2 inch because I'll be using a herringbone. Okay, now this part we're just going to go ahead and connect it straight. You see? If you don't want yours to be a little bit fitted, normally the one she showed me was not that fitted. So I am going to try my best not to make this one fitted. Because let it not be, she'll come and start saying that, this is not how she wanted the kimono to be. So from this part, I think I'm going to have to add again here. It's not supposed to be fitted. So let me just go ahead and measure whatever I have here. 13 inch. 13 inch. I'm going to have to add it up here. 13 inch. I know one. And not be that, I show you something and you want to make your. Okay, let's just say, okay, that part is 13 inch. Here I'm going to do 11 inch. Oh, 11 inch. So just have to connect this part up. From here, 11 inch, it is right there. You can let it not be that, I show you something when I make yours another one. We people lack. We are complicated at times. So I'm just not to make it just like that. So you can see it's not that curvy. So I'm just trying my best not to make this part too curvy. So I'm going to have to cut this off while leaving ½ inch to be able to join this part up. I will cut up the front first, all right, then remove the back. For the neck depth of the back, I did not mention that part. It's just 1 inch. Neck depth of the back is supposed to be just 1 inch, which is right what I've just marked there. So neck depth of the back, and adding up 1 inch. I mean ½ inch. I'll be using to join up the shoulder together. ½ inch is more than enough. Cut off. I will just relax me, because you can relax like that and forget that she has paid me the money and that. Not like she has paid me, she has paid half of the money. And then I'm going to be adding ½ inch here. I'll be using to join the side of the kimono. If you want, you can actually cut it and then add your sleeve. You see the way I'm adding up that ½ inch. So move all the back on me. And I'll add the fold it back. And you bring how many yards of fabric you want to sew kimono. Now I am now passionately thinking I'm trying to manage the fabric as a how you want to sew kimono, you want to sew your husband's shirt, you want to sew haba inside one year, inside that fabric itself. Can you imagine? You want to sew kimono, you want to sew wide leg pant with it, you want to sew a crop top, your husband's shirt inside the 6. Haba, 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 haba. Okay, this is the front. You can see this is how the front is, right? I have to cut and add a little bit how the front is. The length she wanted. Okay, so we've cut the kimono of it. I've cut it up. We've cut it up. Now we'll be adding up the band. The band we already have it because the band of it. I'll have to add small pocket too. My God. My God. Okay. This is going to be enough for our band. I hope so. Let's see. Okay, let's see what we have. The length is 20 is 37. 37 by 2. So this is going to be it for the band. We're going to make the band at least 2 inch like this. Right, this is too big even. So we're going to make so this 37. I'm just going to go ahead and fold it over like that. 37. Remember the length is 37, but the back we still have to add. So normally I'm supposed to measure up. I'll just have to add at least. Okay, so we're just gonna cut this, whatever I have there for the band. This is going to be the band. What I have there is okay, let's see, maybe I'm not sure that crop top is going to come out. She wants to make the crop top too. And I still have to make the shirt and the sleeve. Even though it's a simple shirt. So I'm just gonna have to fold this into 2. I have to follow up whatever I have here. Fold this into 2. The total length, the length of the kimono is 37, but this band is longer than 37 because you know we do not measure it. Normally I'm supposed to join up the kimono. Join it up before cutting up this band. What I have there is this is 37 here. So I added 37, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I added about 8 inch more. I'm gonna go out. I'm always looking for my chalk here. Okay. So now I said I'm going to be using that band of 2 inch. This is an African print. Make sure you're not using the side that is a bit stretchy. You know every fabric is stretchy, right? So I'm gonna be have to place this up. This is my finger like this now. Oh my God. Straight. Make sure everything nice and good. And this other part is good. I'll just go ahead now. Band I'll be working with. Let's see what I have at this end. What I have there is what I'm going to use. So what I have there is 4.5 inch, meaning that if I fold it into two, I'll end up having 2 inch. Half inch is going to be for the sewing allowance, so I'm going to have to maintain this 4.5 inch right there. 4.5 inch. I'm going to come here like this and mark up my 4.5 inch, which is right there. 4.5 inch. Now come here like this and make sure that I have that 4.5 inch. 4.5 inch. So my 4.5 inches here, including this part of there. 4.5 inch. 4.5 inch. 4.5 inch. I've already added up that half inch that we used to join it up. You can go ahead and add an interfacing to it. 1.5 inch, which is right there. 1.5 inch. Then I come here and make 1.5 inch. Now 4.5 inch. I'm gonna just roll that line all the way straight. Then we're cutting the sewing. We're surely gonna do the sewing tomorrow for this first part. Hey, the waistband. I'm not cut the waistband yet. Okay. I said let me just cut this because if I don't cut it, by the time I will sit and think that they sit time. We are almost to this 21st, right? During the week I'm very, very busy. Now I'm supposed to start work tomorrow at 8 o'clock. That's why I told her to bring it much earlier. But you know, as we did, we got it at the good time. Okay, this is it. So the band has been done, and the skirt, the pleats of the skirt is being done, and the kimono is cut, and the band. So the only thing we have now for the kimono, the pocket. So the pocket is too small. Let me first of all go ahead now. The pocket we can add it later. So this part can be for the waistband. Yeah. We're needing 2 waistbands for it. The front is just a normal waistband, while the back is an elastic. Okay. So I've cut this part off. Now let's see what do we have. This one is going to be enough for the shirt. I don't think that it's going to be enough for that crop top she mentioned. Because the shirt is kind of very simple shirt. Very, very simple. It's a shirt that she wants to sew for the husband. So I think it's going to be enough, but not for the crop top she wanted. So let's see the length. What is the length of it? The length is not so long, so Where's that book? Okay. Oh my goodness. 28. Okay. Maybe. This is 28 by 344. No, Anita Handmade. Now here I did top myself 28 by 2. My God, my goodness. Now be enough. Yeah. See? So this can never be enough. The length is 28. Thinking that like this can be. There's no way it can be. Because this is just 45. Yeah? This African print is 45. Let me check. And stitch it this way now. Let me just follow all the designs on the sheet. Okay, guys, this is what I'm trying to do now. Yeah. This way it can still go. The length is 20 feet, so it hadn't been that the length was that short. 28 is here. It's long. It's a long shirt. Even if you do have, there's no way that thing is going to have, that photo is going to come out. So let me just use it on my and stop stressing myself. At least if I cut it, this hem part can be there for the sleeve. The shape we're making, how was the shape? My village people, you know, I know say. But this one I'm leaving it up like that because I don't even want to start thinking. I don't even know the picture. See the picture of the shape. So it's a normal shape. Guys, so this one is going to be coming out tomorrow. Thank you so much, guys. We hope to see you some other time. Bye bye.